And I said, fuck you, Smallant. I don't even want to do that. And also, you smell bad.
Hello everyone, welcome back to SpeedTalk episode 17. I'm Zach27 today. I'm joined by Cjya over to my right. CJ, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm feeling good.
All right, cool. So I have a lot of different things, topics and questions planned as always. This shouldn't be it wasn't too difficult to come up with questions because I think I've been watching your YouTube since close to the beginning of it, so I definitely have.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I have a decent amount of stuff to pull from. But I guess before we get to that, what kind of was your introduction to Mario? What ended up attracting you to the Odyssey scene back in the beginning?
I think it kind of started when I was watching Mario 64 runs, and I thought they looked cool. I was like, I kind of want to play that. And I didn't have anything to really emulate on, so I was like, I guess the only way I could play it is if I got an N64, but that was a big commitment. So instead I was like, there's this new one out. It's probably like the same thing. So I tried Odyssey, and I just loved it. And then I started watching videos, and then I started running it, and it all just kind of snowballed from there. But yeah, I just played the game casually because I wanted to speedrun Mario 64. And then I just kind of never even really speedrun Mario 64 for a while. I just focused on Odyssey.
Nice. Whenever you tried 64, was it like hard to even play because of how different the controls are?
It kind of was at times, but I don't know. They're very different games, so I never had too much of an issue like mixing them up in that way. It's just a harder game. Like Odyssey's a great speed game. It's really forgiving. In like general, like if you make a mistake, you probably lose like a few seconds in most cases. But in Mario 64, anywhere you make a mistake, you could be losing up like a minute or two. I think that makes it a lot harder to get into.
Yeah, like I know Odyssey was like one of my first speed games, or it was the first game I speedran. So when I tried to like play 64 on like 3D All Stars, I like got like 3 stars and was like, okay, now I'm going back to Odyssey. I can't do this. I couldn't figure out like wall jump and stuff because like wall jumps are so precise in that game, and I was just like,
yeah, they are. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. So when did you did you get Odyssey like at the start, like 2017, 2018?
I think it was like early 2018. I didn't even have a Switch. My sister's boyfriend did, and I would go over to their house. I have a nephew, and I would go over to their house and hang out with my nephew. And then one day I was there. I was like, "Can I play on your Switch?" And then pretty much I started going over almost every day, and I would play for like 6 hours a day. I would stay until like 4 in the morning some days, because I was just obsessed with it. I literally went over and played on his Switch until I 100% of the game on someone else's Switch at someone else's house. I was just so committed. And then it wasn't until later that year that I got a Switch, and I bought the game and I played through it casually again. And then a little while later, I started watching content and speedrunning it.
Okay. So I'm assuming just based off of your channel that like one of the first people you started watching was Smallant, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Because
that's who I started watching first. And then I saw, I don't know, the speedrunning is just, it's intimidating when you've never speedrun before. You just see like the best players and you're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. So you don't even try. And then I saw he had beginner tutorials, and I was like, well, I remember having a thought of like, if there's beginner tutorials, I have no excuse. So I just started learning.
Yeah. I remember when he was dropping those like tutorials back in the day.
Yeah.
I was just like probably 9 years old or something, just not like in the community, but just kind of looking at it from the outside. Um,
Right.
so that was a fun time. Or you like inspired, I guess, by Smallant's videos and and anyone else's videos? And like, what did you find appealing about becoming a content creator? Because obviously, I think your first video was like late 2019 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I had tried making videos in the past. I mean, when I was like a little kid, I made these skit videos when I was like 11 with my cousins and stuff. And then when I was like 15, I would just edit these shitty Rocket League videos while playing games with my friend. And those are actually on my current channel, but they're not there anymore. But that is what I originally used my channel for. Um, but then I really just started streaming to submit speedruns. I just wanted to speedrun, and I was like, well, I can't just sit and record. So I just streamed no mic, no cam, speedruns. And then eventually I was watching Smallant, and I was like, yeah, that does look fun, interacting with chat and stuff. So I was like, fuck it. And I bought a mic. Then a little bit later, I bought a cam, and I just started streaming. I mean, I was streaming probably like 4 times a week to just like 0 viewers, but just speedrunning Odyssey any percent every day. And yeah, then I don't know. I started making videos just because I thought it'd be fun. Like I did that in my first video, the wisdom teeth video. I was like, it was a fun stream, but I streamed for about 45 minutes because it felt a lot longer. I was very, very out of it. But I streamed for about 45 minutes, and I realized by the end that I didn't get a single chat message for the entire 45 minutes. And I was like, that sucks because this was really funny. So I was like, fuck it. And I just edited the video like that night or the next day or something.
I don't remember when I watched that video, but I definitely didn't even like realize that there was nobody in the chat the entire time because I
Yeah.
remember it was a funny video.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it was humble beginnings, I guess, because yeah, I streamed for about 6 months before I ever hit affiliate, which was 3 average viewers. One of them was me, on the other monitor.
yeah.
So 2 average viewers. And then my girlfriend also at the time was watching. So really, I just needed one person to be there. And I couldn't even get that for a while.
I think I started streaming like, and I unfortunately at the very beginning I actually had viewers because I was doing Mario Maker verses with viewers or something. And I
Okay,
feel
yeah.
so bad for anyone that was watching this because I was like 13 and probably so annoying. But then when I
Yeah,
like
fair
started
enough.
doing Odyssey more often, like the viewership just like dropped a lot, and it took a long time to come back up. But that's just, I guess that's
Yeah.
just what happens with streaming in general.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
so I know a lot of creators have like a video that kind of sort of blows up their channel and like
Mhm.
is like a big moment for them. I'm still waiting for my video on my channel to do that.
Right.
Do you have a video that comes to mind in that sense,
Yeah.
and like how did it sort
Yeah,
of impact
definitely.
the channel?
It was my channel, I think I had like a few thousand subs, and my most viewed video had about like 5,000 views, and I was uploading like semi consistently. At this point I had an editor. I just decided, like, I was living with my parents, so I was like, I'm just gonna spend all the money I make on Twitch, maybe not all of it, but like, I'm gonna spend all the money I can that I make on Twitch on an editor. I'm just gonna like run it at a loss because I wasn't making any money on YouTube. And eventually I did min caps max moons, and I did that video, which I actually edited. Um, but I remember my most viewed video was like 5,000 views, and by the end of the first day that video was out, it was at like 30 or 40,000,
Wow.
and I was just like, holy shit. And I just kind of kept going. I just kept uploading, and videos just started doing well. I remember I got my first YouTube paycheck, and it was higher than any Twitch paychecks I was getting at the time. I was like, what the hell? This is crazy. And I just kind of rode the wave. But yeah, it was that Min Caps Max Moons video. I mean, it ended up doing, I think by the end of the year, I uploaded it in February, and by the end of the year, it hit 1 million views. like right at the end of the year, which I mean, at the start of the year, I was getting like 2,000 views a video or 1,000 views a video.
Yeah.
So that was that was a crazy time.
Yeah, that video, I'm surprised I'm kind of surprised that's the one that blew up, but I'm also not, because I guess it wasn't really like a thing that anyone had anyone even done that before you did that? Or were you the
Mm-mm.
first?
No, I was the first
Okay.
person. No one had done it. That was kind of the idea. I was like, I'll try. And I really liked the video because, I mean, well, I really like it for a lot of reasons, but there was one specific thing where each day I was so excited to make the video, I would write the script after each day of stream. And this was like 4 days total or something. And there's even one point at the end where I'm having to do the hardest moon, third courtyard
Yeah.
outskirts, which I mean, you know, but anyone else who
Yeah.
doesn't know, you have to do a bunch of nut jumps in a row. It's really, really hard. No one had ever done it. And after one of the days of trying, I tried for 6 hours and didn't get it. Um, and I said in the video, like, I don't even know if I'll be able to get this. And normally in a video, that's just like you're hyping it up for when you
Yeah.
do get it, obviously. But at the time, I didn't know if I'd get it. I was like, this video might come out and I might just fail the challenge. Uh, so it just made when I did get it, and that moment in the video where I get it just made it so much more hype. And it made me so much more excited to get it because I was like, I can actually make the video now that I've been working on this whole time. I was even editing as well. I was recording and editing the video right after I would end stream of
Oh, wow.
uh, doing the stream.
When did you, how long did it take, like, your channel before you, like, got an editor?
Uh, I had a few videos up before my current first video, and I deleted them. You know, like almost every
Yeah.
YouTuber does, deletes their old videos that they don't like. I kind of wish I had unlisted them at least so I could watch them, but I don't know. Let me see, when was my first upload. I know what video was the first one I had my editor on. Um, so like I could just look. Let's go oldest. My first video that's public was October 2019, and I started streaming in May of 2019, so probably like July was when I put out my first video. Um, and then it was December 2020 was the first video with an editor.
Okay.
Um, or was it the first? I guess I had one video with an editor before that, but this was the first one where I had my full-time editor.
Yeah.
So yeah, just about a year and a half I was editing on my own to like no success. And I'm not very good at editing. Like the editing itself is pretty whatever, but the main thing was like I was really bad at getting myself to edit, and it would take me forever to upload because I was bad at just like sitting down and editing because I have ADHD and whatever. So um I knew that like if I'm going to have a chance, I need to be consistent, and I knew that I was going to have a hard time getting myself consistent. So yeah, that was when I made the call. It's like I just got to get an editor.
Makes
Take the
sense.
loss.
I definitely have that problem with like editing because I
Yeah.
do not like editing at all, which sucks
No, it's
because
not fun.
content
I know
creation is
so
fun.
many I know
But
so many people like Morph uh edits all his own stuff. And he was actually for a while he was streaming, editing his own videos and editing for another channel.
wow.
Like a ridiculous amount of editing for this other channel and himself. And now he's quit that other job and now he's just editing for himself. But even then I'm like, bro, I don't get how you do it.
Yeah, anyone that can like stream and also like enjoys editing is just like
Mm,
and it's entertaining. Like that's just it's overpowered when you have all three of
yeah.
these things. Like but yeah, editing's tough. I remember one time, I think a couple years ago, you did this is a bit of a topic switch, but you did a live stream giving people title and thumbnail advice for their
Mm.
channels. That was I thought that was really cool. I remember I did that. I filled out a form or whatever you had to do, I guess. Um, but that was cool. What was like the idea behind doing that?
Um, I just thought it'd be fun. People would always ask questions, and I felt like I just had some knowledge to give. I didn't think I ended up being that helpful because people were sending in thumbnails and titles of topics I know nothing about, so that makes it kind of hard. Um, but I mean, there's always basic tips to give, and I know that I got a lot of help coming up from Smallant, from Alfred has helped a lot, like bouncing ideas back and forth. It has helped a lot, and I definitely would not be where I am today. I mean, Smallant, I would, for a while, I'd run every thumbnail I made by him, and he'd be like, "No, you shouldn't do this. You should do this," and I'd be like, "Sweet." And yeah, I've just learned a lot, and so I felt like I wanted to give back a little bit if I could.
That's cool.
I don't think I helped that much, but it's worth a shot.
I mean, you helped me get I had like Switch pictures as my thumbnails, and you like told me like, you like shouted like stop having the white border around it. So eventually I like learned to stop doing that because it really did annoy me. Like I didn't even notice it before you said that, and then like it was like all my thumbnails are just disgusting after that.
That's funny.
I know a lot of your early content was like similar to Smallant's. How would you say, like, as the years went on, did you kind of differentiate yourself from him, for like other creators like that?
I think that at the start, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I just saw things that other creators do, and he was like a big one, obviously. And I was like, that seems fun, and I do it. And it sucks. You kind of just can't do that because everyone says you stole this or whatever. Which, like, yeah, that was the point. I wanted to try the thing that the other person did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, kind of a tangent, but I had a video where I wanted to do the Flora's Poison mod that he did, or one of the mods that he did. And at the start of the video, I'm like, I know Smallant did this. I wanted to try it out, though. And I still got several comments that were like, Smallant did this first. And it like, I've had things where I do something first, and then Fir does it, but his video got more views, and people comment on mine. They're like, wow, you stole this from Fir. It's crazy, which sucks because I think people should be allowed to do what they want, and if you see something fun, do it. Which is kind of my philosophy at the beginning, but over time, I mean, yeah, you got to differentiate yourself if you want to make it at all. And I think that every like Odyssey person has different things in their videos, like. Smallant's videos are very much about like him being as good as possible at something. It feels like he just does something really hard and he tries to do it as optimally as possible. And Fir kind of has like, I'd say maybe the most creative or like wacky stuff. And with me, it's kind of like I'm just kind of like bad at some things. And obviously I'm louder and I'm more personality focused, I guess, than I am idea focused or skill focused. And I think that is kind of the difference. I mean, obviously everyone knows that I yell a lot and stuff. And I don't do it on purpose, but people it's kind of associated with me at this point. So I couldn't really stop even if I wanted to, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry to my neighbors though.
It's funny that you mentioned like the Smallant did this first thing, because like now like at this point in time, Smallant's obviously so big, and even like you and Fir and like all of you guys. So like I'll be seeing like on like comments of like random like videos that are just like gameplay of SMO. Like I know Buster's like records. I've definitely seen like Smallant could beat this and stuff like that on like the most random videos. It's so stupid whenever I see
a lot of people think that we are like the best Odyssey players there are, and it's just not true at all. They think like they're like, CJ, why don't you have sub hour? I'm like, because I'm not good enough. Like, what do you mean? They have a lot of expectations for us, I guess.
I wouldn't even say it's because you're not good enough. It's just because like that's like
I haven't put in the time.
Yeah, and also it's just like that's unless you are like really good and like super entertaining, that just doesn't get the same amount of views as like actual like content ideas. Like like I did like Kaizo speedruns, which I know you tried a little bit too. And I was getting like so much more viewers doing that, but it was just like well, I actually did enjoy it a decent amount, but then when I switched back to like regular any percent, which I don't like regular any percent, I just feel like I need to improve my time. The viewership just falls. Like it's just you're just resetting in like early game like over and over again, so it's just not as entertaining. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get people in my
But
chat when I do actual speedruns and I reset. They're like, "Why did you reset?" People who watch me genuinely don't even understand how speedruns work. They're like, "Why did you reset?" I'm like, "Because I'm behind." That's just how it works. But
yeah,
they're so used to watching like challenge runs. They're like, "Why would you restart? You were doing fine."
yeah, that definitely is like I could definitely see how that would be a thing for a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so jumping back to like the beginning of your channel, a
Mm.
couple of at the end of last season, I had Rock and Jack and Anto on from the Discount Boys, and
Okay.
I know you at one point made a Nut Jump Dreams song
Of course.
parodying Sphinx Clip Dreams. What was like the
Hmm.
was it inspiration to begin creating songs? I think didn't you make like one after that too or something?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Someone in my chat showed me Sphinx Clip Dreams, and I was like, "This is awesome." I just thought it was really funny, and I was like, "This is just really funny." And it kind of became like a cult, kind of obsession in my chat of like, um, we loved Sphinx Clip Dreams. So at some point, I was like, it would be funny if I did a cover of Sphinx Clip Dreams. And then one day, I like sat down, and I was just gonna do it off stream. I was like, that'll be funny. My chat would like that. And then instead, I was like, I should make my own. And I, at the time, I was not able to do nut jump anymore because I updated by accident and I couldn't reset my Switch
uh,
because um, I was into Animal Crossing, and at the time you couldn't transfer your Animal Crossing save. So, and I only had one Switch at the time. So I just had to not do three caps at a time where I was like grinding record, and
Damn.
Ophir had it, or Ophir.
I think it's
And
Ophir. Yeah.
yeah, Ophir had the record and I wanted to get it back, but I just couldn't do it. And I was like, well, guess I'm not doing it. Um, and then, yeah, I just made the song. And then eventually I was able to get it back, but I hated three caps
Yeah.
after a while. I mean, it just sucks doing an entire run and then dying to the nut jump at the end every time. So I just decided to make a song saying goodbye to three caps. Even though eventually I did come back and get the record again.
Nice.
Um,
That's
but yeah, that was
yeah.
Nut Jump Dreams. People don't realize that there's a Sphinx Clip Dreams, and that almost none of the lyrics in Nut Jump Dreams are actually original. Almost everything is just exactly the same, and then I replace Sphinx Clip with Nut Jump for a lot of it. It
Funny
has
to say.
gotten a little bigger than I wanted it to. Like, um, one day, Alfred, he just DM'd me, and they were like, "I just found this." And they had just listened to the song randomly, and they were like, "It's amazing." And then Smallant became obsessed with it, so it started getting brought up in videos. And I
Yeah.
remember, like, if I look at the graph for Nut Jump Dreams, it's kind of just like this, and then it just goes up. It had like 40,000 views, and now it has like 150,000. Like in the last year, it's like tripled or quadrupled in view count,
Yeah.
which I'm not that happy about. But it's a part of the channel now. Everyone knows about it now.
The
There's
part
no
of
going
the
back.
legacy. Yeah. You
Yeah,
should
exactly.
need to embrace it and make a sequel. Then it'll
Um,
blow up.
I don't
I
even
don't
know
know
what
what
the sequel would be
I don't know what that
about.
would be. Yeah.
One day, people always ask me if I'm going to do another song. I'm like, no, because when I made Nut Job Dreams, I had like 500 subs, and when I made
Yeah.
Nut Job Goodbyes, I had like, I don't know, a couple thousand subs. I'm not doing that shit now with 400,000 subs. That would just be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Um, obviously, I don't remember when the mod came out, but modding and especially like the hide and seek mod have obviously done wonders for
Hmm.
your channel and Smallant and Fir and literally everyone that does
Yeah.
that ever. How like big was that when that first dropped? And like, do you ever get, because obviously you're still doing it now, like every now and then, I think. So does it ever get like tiring? Because it's been like 4 years or something,
Yeah,
3 or 4 years.
definitely. Yeah, it was November of 2021. So
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, almost 4 years. It was yeah, really crazy. I mean, my channel was growing, and I think going into that November I was at about like 60,000 subs. I was like doing well, felt good. My goal for the year was 50,000 even though I started the year with 700 subs. So, it was a good year. And then by the end of the year in those last 2 months, I went from 60,000 to 110,000 subs. And I know Fur had like 5,000 subscribers. And I mean, he blew up fast as well.
Yeah.
Like, we all had a big, I mean, we all except Smallant obviously was already huge at the time. But it was a big boost. I think that the mod was just awesome. Shout out Crafty, who, again, like, no one knew who the
Yeah.
hell Crafty was. Uh, and then I think we handled it well where this wasn't really on purpose, but obviously everyone wanted to make a video. So what we did was we would play like 4 rounds, however many people. We'd play 4 rounds of hide and seek, and then each person would get 1 round. We'd just kind of all be like, oh, I want this one because I won or I did something cool in it. And we'd all get one, get them edited, and then upload on the same day for like fairness. But it also helped where like at the end of the video, everyone's like, hey, if you liked it, you can continue it on these channels. And we just got like crazy growth from that. I mean, obviously a big part of it is like me and Fur, who were smaller, getting traffic from Smallant. And then eventually it just became like a thing where when hide and seek came out, you had all these videos to watch and people loved that. I mean, it was
Yeah.
big. Yeah, I
And
remember like it
sorry.
was a crazy time. That December um was just an insane amount of growth. I think I got 30,000 subs in that 1 month. And I was just like, what the fuck, dude? That's
Yeah, that's a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah.
When did like and or didn't when you guys started the hide and seek, it wasn't even like a public mod either, right? So like people
Mm-mm.
like just had to watch you if they wanted to see the mod,
Yeah.
which definitely helped,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, we were the only people who could play it. It was yeah, very not public at the time because it just wasn't in a state where it could be. I mean, it crashed all the time. There was a
Yeah.
lot about that early hide and seek that was weird. Like, you couldn't change your costume.
Oh,
You
really?
loaded in, and if you were the first person to load in, you were Mario. Second was Luigi. Third was Wario. Fourth was Waluigi. It just automatically
Wow.
equipped those costumes. And so we'd join in a specific order every time to get everyone the outfit they wanted. Um, but yeah, you asked when, like, if it ever got old because we're still doing it. It did, very much so. Like, there was a period where I didn't play for a long time, and there were memes about drama or whatever. But really, I was just bored as hell because we went, I want to say, like 2 years playing every week, like pretty much without fail.
Yeah.
Um, and I was there every time. Small like Crafty for like us four and Grand Pooh Bear or us five. We're there pretty much every time. Um, we started playing with more and more people. But it was really just getting old. I mean, there's only so many kingdoms. And then we'd introduce like gimmicks, but those gimmicks were always just like, I don't know. I always didn't like them because the gimmick would just make it harder for the seekers. And I hated having to seek against some of them, because of how scummy their spots would be. But, um, eventually I remember the day that it became fun again was when we did teams the first time. We played against, it was US versus France.
Oh
US
yeah, I remember
included
that.
Smallant. But we did like international hide and seek and we did teams for the first time. And God, that was like so much fun because now you're not just like alone and like suffering. It's like everything that happens. Like, if you get caught, you spectate and you help your team. Or if you're like seeking, you can work together. It like added such a new dynamic. And for a while, we played like a lot of teams because that was where we were like, wow, this is really fun. And then now, like, it's just fun. But we usually have some sort of gimmick. Like, we just did first person recently. I know Fur is trying to we're doing chained together hide and seek. So you're in like a team of two and you're chained together. Like, interesting stuff that doesn't necessarily make it harder or easier, but just adds a new mechanic so that it's not just the same hiding spots every week. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds fun doing it with teams. I've tried hide and seek a handful of times with people.
Mhm.
Not as much as I'd like, because my hack switch is terrible, and I always have problems every single time I even try to turn it on. So I don't even use it that much anymore since Kaizo mode. But hide and seek is fun, but like I couldn't imagine doing it for as long as you guys have. So it makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense doing like trying teams and just trying to make it like more interesting, I guess. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
how do you like? I feel like you'd run out of hiding spots too. Is the other thing like pretty quickly.
Sorry.
You're good.
She did not close the door. All right. Sorry. Yeah, no, definitely there was running out of hiding spots. I mean, there were a few spots that when we'd like roll Snow Kingdom, you always knew where Smallant was gonna hide. He hid in the same spot every time. Or like, yeah, it just felt very samey where there was no more variety. And that's why recently we also did the custom maps. We made custom maps. It was like a months long process. It took like 4 months from when we decided to do it to when we finally did do it. But it was very cool because it was like new, explore new spots, new maps. It was a interesting experience that is very hard and not super practical. But now, whenever like every week, if we want to play hide and seek, it's like, oh, we could do custom maps this week. And then we have a new selection of stuff to play on. Um, yeah, it's been a lot better. We've also been getting really good new people in. Um, like there's been a lot of new people that joined semi recently. Just like people I know that I invited a lot. Um, like Easy Speezy. It was a lot of fun to play with. Curbs has been a lot of fun. Um, we got Astral Spiffed, even though he had only played Odyssey like once ever. But whatever. Like at a certain point, we were kind of prioritizing personality over if they played Odyssey, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a lot of fun. I mean, Failboat has been like a really, really fun addition. Morph is now playing with us. Um, yeah, like the new kind of blood that came in made it really fun as well. And then because there were a lot of new people, we were playing teams more because it felt more like beginner friendly. And yeah, I think it's been a lot more fun recently.
You guys had Philly on too, right? I think
Who?
Philly was he on? I don't even know.
Uh, I don't know if he was in a regular hide and seek or if he was just in one of Morph's things, but
Oh, he
Philly,
might have been.
I think, was in at some point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember I saw Philly doing like hide and seek at one point, and I was like, oh, that's sick. Because I know
Yeah, he might have joined then.
he's
I
been
don't
trying
fully remember.
to,
Like everything gets kind of
yeah.
mixed up at this point with the GeoGuessr with Morph and the hide and seek and everything. But yeah, we've been hanging out with Philly. I mean, we've been hanging out with Philly like outside of the Odyssey stuff, playing
Yeah.
just playing games with him.
Morph, I feel like I didn't even know who that was for so long, and then like randomly I
Yeah.
went on Twitch one day and he just had like several thousand viewers like playing Odyssey, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like people like
Yeah,
hide and seek is huge for some people, I feel like.
he kind of came out of nowhere. I I had no idea who he was. And then Smallant did GeoGuessr with him, and I was like, "Oh, that looks cool." And then like a few days later, I got an invite to the next GeoGuessr, and I was like, "Well, it's a cool idea." So I said, "Yeah." I mean, that's typically how. Oh God, I have to sneeze. Maybe not. It's typically how I kind of operate. Like, I I don't worry too much about if someone asks me to collab or whatever. I'm not like, oh, they don't have enough followers. It's just if the idea
Yeah.
is cool and they seem cool, I'll do it. And Morph had a cool idea, so I was like, sure. And I think that's kind of how everyone was. Like Smallant and Fir as well. We're both just kind of like, this idea seems cool, and we started playing. And yeah, he kind of blew up out of nowhere just because he had fun ideas. He has good editing, and yeah, it's been very cool. And he's really entertaining. I've been enjoying like inviting him to my stuff now, whether it's hide and seek or whatever. I think he's the only other person who's like as loud as me sometimes. And it's nice to have someone else like that. I don't feel as
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, I think I really like uh enjoyed Morse's personality in I think it was one of the recent trivia game show videos you did,
Oh yeah.
which that I
Yeah.
will say probably one of my favorite video series of yours. I think I've watched like all of
Yeah.
them. Um what gave you like that idea to do the trivia like game show type of thing? Because I feel like that was like a really cool series.
Yeah. I don't know why I did it originally, but yeah, I just thought it'd be fun. And they are like the most fun things to do. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I think that makes it like really rewarding. And it's nice to have like a live experience that is super polished like that. Normally, I kind of like I wing like everything I do. Like if I'm doing like a challenge run, I don't even think about anything ahead of time. I like to go in fresh because I think that like my reactions and stuff are um what people like, like blind reactions.
Yeah.
Um and so I normally just kind of like wing everything. But this was the one thing where I really every time like I set up, and sometimes things I let things slip or I forget about certain things, but I'm always really proud how they turn out. And yeah, I wish I could remember why I did it originally. But I did the first SMO trivia. I really liked that. Looking back on it, I think it's like maybe the worst one, but um, obviously it was just the first one. And then a while passed, and I was like, well, I don't just want to do another one, even if it would have been smart, because the video did super well. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like to farm stuff too much. I would like to make things stay special. So almost a year had passed, and I realized that, and I was like, well, if a year's passed, I'll do another one. So I did another one, and that one did insanely well, the Pokemon one. Um, I remember the stream for that. I streamed it on YouTube. It was one of my first YouTube streams where I was doing like certain things on YouTube to try it out when Twitch got rid of exclusivity. Um, and I remember like, I normally get like a few hundred viewers on a good stream, like, and I went live and there were 6,000 people in chat when it started.
That's
I was just
crazy.
like, Jesus Christ. I mean, looking back on it, I'm like, it was a crazy roster, especially for my size. It was Alpharad, Jaden, Pokemon Challenges, and Purple Cliff. Like
That is
four
the
people who
roster,
were
yeah.
wildly bigger than me. Yeah, like the combined sub count was ridiculous. I really invited them because I just thought they were entertaining and I was friends with them. Like, but it just so happened that it brought a lot of people in, and that video did insanely well. But I still waited another year to do another one, and now they don't do as well. But there's still so much fun to do that I don't really care, even if I am like running out of stuff to do. But I like doing Jeopardy. The most recent one was Jeopardy, and I
Yeah,
liked
that one
that.
was
So
cool.
I might kind of like redo all the game shows essentially, but in Jeopardy now. Like I did a Mario Odyssey game show, and then I did Mario Odyssey Jeopardy. I did a Pokemon game show. I kind of want to do Pokemon Jeopardy now, so I might try that. But we'll have to see. Some of the videos
That's
that I do think are more fun, when they stop doing as well, it kind of makes it feel less worth it because it's like it's a lot of work, sometimes a lot of money with things like playing the Steam games that chat recommends. I'll spend like hundreds of dollars on that, and then so if the video doesn't do well, it's almost like, man, that didn't feel worth it.
yeah.
Even if I do have a lot of fun doing it, it's just like I got to think about how I spend my time with all the stuff going on.
I think it was cool in the Jeopardy too, seeing Zach in the Box on there, because he just like I think that was probably his first appearance in any of that like space. Uh,
Yeah,
but that was
yeah, it was
cool.
interesting. I knew I needed someone who was like a speedrunner, and yeah, I decided to ask him because I know him pretty well now, so I figured he'd be good on there. We needed like Morph was like all about the chaos. Fur was kind of like he's pretty chaotic, but he's also like smart. And then Smant
Uh,
always is just gunning for the win. And then yeah, Zach was kind of like our speedrunner guy, who was like, I don't know, he's kind of like the wild card. He could have done really anything. I wasn't sure
yeah,
what he'd do. I was just like,
that's
I was just letting him know like not to be nervous, because I've had people on the game shows who seem nervous or like not super comfortable, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I just want everyone to make an impact on the video, pretty much. That's all I really care
yeah.
about.
He did a it was a funny video because I feel like he didn't even have that much of an advantage because so many of the questions like I didn't even know because like they're just like stuff about like the kingdom like catalog and stuff. Like I'm not
Yeah.
opening my map and reading that. Like it was
Yeah.
I think those like type of questions make it a lot more fun, just because like
Mhm.
it's even for me who's like has like 6 or 7 thousand hours in this game, like I still like I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, my trivia shows, I've always had like one, and I've gotten like, I remember Alfred was talking to me about it and saying how, like, pointing it out, which I was glad that someone picked up on it, because this was like a big philosophy, I guess, in my trivia shows from the beginning, was like I didn't want them to be too hard. I feel like when people make game shows, they like really want to test the knowledge of these guys, and they'll be like, what city did Shigeru Miyamoto grow up in when he was 6 years old? And it's like, why the fuck would anyone know that?
Yeah,
Um, and so it was always about like teetering this line of like difficult but very approachable, where people watching can play along and actually do well. Um, and that's like a big part of it, is that most of the trivia I just come up with off the top of my head. Like for the original trivia shows, especially, it was always just trivia I knew. Like, for example, in the Pokemon game show from a while back, one of the questions was, what are Coughing and Wheezing's original names that they were going to name them in English? And it was NY and LA. Um, and like, I don't know. I don't really do much research. I just kind of sit and think about trivia I know. Because if I know it, then other people will probably know it. But then sometimes you get one where like that, where it's like, well, if you know it, you know it. And if you don't, you don't. Like, no one's going to guess that or whatever.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
remember.
it's always been about keeping it approachable, but
Yeah,
also a little hard.
I remember in the first video there was like some like questions that I thought would be like, because they were like a lot of them were like a little bit easier, like Odyssey questions, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
interesting to see like Smallant or like for all these people that you would suspect would know the answer, and they would just get like questions, easy questions wrong. No offense to them,
Yeah.
but I was just sitting like, what the hell? How do you not know this? So it's funny, like
Yeah.
when you do questions like that and people still get them wrong. I guess
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
definitely been surprised by some where I'm like,
know.
I sometimes I'm worried I made a question too easy, and then they end up getting it wrong, or I made a question really hard and everyone knows it. But yeah, definitely at the beginning, like I said, I think that was the worst one, but it's also partially just because it was the first one. I didn't have to get as creative. Like when I did a second, eventually I just did another Mario Odyssey game show because I had better ideas and I thought I could do it better. And I'm really proud of that one because I had to come up with some really unique categories. And but in the first one, I had everything to choose from. Like I had so many
Yeah,
options of questions. I could ask how many purple coins there are. I could ask um what is Cappy's sister's name? Like it was pretty basic, but then as we go on, I have to come up with stuff. Like I really like the in the Jeopardy, the Talkatoo Moons one, where I did the translated Talkatoo Moons and they had to guess the kingdom. Like stuff
yeah,
like
that was a
that
good
that I
one.
would never have done in my first game show because I could keep it really simple. Now, because I had to get complicated, I felt like I came up with a lot better stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot more creative, and I think it
Mhm.
makes it more like interesting, regardless of
Yeah.
skill level at the game, I guess.
Mhm.
I know one thing that you got to do because of like speedrunning and content creation and everything is you've gotten to showcase Odyssey a lot of different speedrunning events. Obviously,
Oh
the
yeah.
Grand Prix Bear speedrun sessions. I think Ludwig's Fast 50 event last year.
Mhm.
And earlier this year, Mariothon, I believe. The whatever that GSA event was.
Uh,
Was
yeah,
it
what was it called?
Mariothon?
Yeah. It was Mario Summit. Yeah.
Mario Summit, that's what it was.
Mm.
Um, how fun are those events? Like, I've been to a couple speedrunning events myself, and they're always a blast. But what were like some of the highlights of those for you?
Those are, yeah, like easily my favorite thing to do in the world. I mean, for one, like just getting to travel. I before starting with that stuff, I'd been to like two states ever. Um, is California and Nevada. So I hadn't traveled very far. And then since like, I mean, I've gone to like New York, Boston, Virginia, Chicago, Utah. Like I'm
Wow.
all around the country, like to all these different places. I mean, there's more, but um, and I got to like go to different events. Like I got to go to PAX because of it. I got to go to SmashCon. Um, and it's just really cool. Like I love, I guess, performing in front of a crowd. It's a very cool feeling. I remember specifically I did Superstar Mode any% in New York. And that crowd was awesome. And then I got a PB on stage.
Wow.
Like I actually somehow, even though I'm doing like I'm commentating and everything, I managed to get a PB. And I just remember like afterwards, everyone coming up to me like from the crowd, like talking about how hype it was. And it's just such a cool feeling. Like when you're a streamer or a YouTuber and you make a joke, people might omega lol or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know, actually getting to hear live feedback and getting to like perform in front of a real crowd is super cool. So speedrun sessions, those were always super cool. I had a lot of fun at those. I've met a lot of really cool people because of it. I didn't know Pooh as well, so getting to like really meet Pooh. And then people like Andy, Mitch, Bird, Xwater, Spike Vegeta, like Panga, all these like really cool people who I did not know, and now like I've like visited some of them and like I'm good friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then at Fast 50, that was a very unique event because it was more hanging out than it was doing anything. I mean, speedrun sessions, you're like, it's like a 5-6 hour event and you're in it the whole time.
Yeah.
Fast 50 was obviously 50 hours, and I did my one run, and then I commentated on one thing. Technically, that was it. But I did a lot of hanging out. I met Spiff there. I met Easy Speezy, Star Chris, Aggie. Really, really cool people. But yeah, Fast 50 was a super weird trip because I'm from LA, but I was living in Georgia, so I had to come to LA, and I'm staying with Alfarad at their house, and I was supposed to be running at like 8 a.m. on day 2, which I was like, oh my god, that's so early, but I was still excited. And then all of a sudden, the night before, I'm sitting and like just kind of, I think I was playing Hades on my Steam Deck, and I get a DM and they're like, hey, Point Crow was supposed to start the event, but he got sick. Can you start the entire event? And I was just like, yeah. But now I was nervous. Like I wasn't that nervous before. I don't really get that nervous for these things, even though I was pretty unpracticed. Because I didn't apply for it. I know there were like applications for it, but I just randomly got a DM from Ludwig. He was like, hey, you want to be in my speedrunning event in LA? And he hadn't even announced it yet, so I didn't even know if it was actually going to happen.
Wow.
So I did like a few practice runs, but it's superstar mode any %. Like that shit's hard.
Yeah.
And now I was like asked to headline the event. I was like, fuck. And I was getting nervous. And then I started, and I don't know if you've seen the video or if you watched it live, it was not good. I was messing everything up. I was just playing like shit. I think I was really trying to focus on like being entertaining and stuff. And I was not putting enough focus into the game. And then eventually, yeah, I mean, at the start, I messed up so bad in Cap Kingdom. I just jokingly said, can I reset? I was like, would it be
Oh
cool if I
yeah, I remember that.
restarted? And I just thought, like, this is stupid as hell. Who at a speedrunning, like at a GDQ or at something like this, who the hell's ever reset a run? And I just thought, it'll be so stupid to ask. And they were immediately just like, yeah, reset. Why not? I was like, okay. I think after that, I kind of forgot that I was nervous because I fucked up so bad and made such a fool of myself that I think suddenly I just wasn't nervous anymore because I mean, what was there to be nervous about? It's not going to get any
Yeah.
worse than that. And all of a sudden I remembered I was in Lunch at Kingdom and I was like, wait, I've been playing really well. And even with a lot of messing up at the beginning, even within Snow Kingdom, Ludwig asked if I would do Bound Bowl. And I went out of my way to do Bound Bowl. Not only that, I don't know if this has been ever documented. I'm pretty sure they patched it. You can't clip into Bound Bowl anymore. There was an invisible wall around the ramp. And no one believed me on stage, but I swear to God, I dove onto the ramp and Mario did the thing where he just like shifted down like
Yeah.
off an invisible wall. And so I had to get all 4 story moons, which I didn't even really know how to do in superstar mode. And then I did the bound bowl, and even with all that, I was only like 4 minutes worse than my PB. Like I
Oh,
had an insanely good run, and randomly near the end, I was like, wait, I'm not nervous at all. I think I did damageless mech, which I had only ever done like twice before, and it's stupidly hard to do. And that was super fun. And I made a lot of jokes about being the GOAT. I just kept saying that I'm the GOAT. And now I still get people will come into my chat, like first time messages, are like, yo, it's the GOAT. And so like there's
that's
been
funny.
sort of like a legacy from there. It was very cool to see throughout the event, people were still making jokes like in their donations about me being the GOAT, like at the end of the event when I wasn't there. It was a really cool experience. But yeah, I almost really fucked it up at the beginning. So that was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
seemed like a pretty laid back speedrunning event compared to most when
definitely,
it comes to
yeah.
runs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that definitely
yeah.
was apparent with who they all announced at the start, and people weren't a big fan of it. But there were a lot of speedrunning people there that I was surprised how like small they were. I guess like world record holders that I later found out from watching their streams, they get like 20 average viewers or something. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of like representation for speedrunning. It's just that people didn't like the initial announcement.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was quite an interesting time. It was also funny because it was also just weird that he had the event like like I think it went into the beginning of Summer Pace, which was also like a
Mm,
pretty big event because I remember
I didn't realize that.
Summer Pace started June 2nd, and I think his event was like the very end of May, maybe ending June 2nd or something.
Wow.
Um, so that was like I remember like I think Cheese or someone said like I think they didn't go to Fast 50. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
because they were like I would, but I'm going to Pace because he like helps run Pace and stuff or
Yeah,
helped run
Cheese wasn't
Pace.
there. I
Um,
remember hearing about that. That it was because of pays. But yeah, they're fun. I really like going to those events. I'm going to GDQ next week for the first time.
oh really? That's
Uh,
sick.
I'm just commentating on a run, but I wasn't going for that. We were going anyways, and then I was asked. But yeah, I
Is
do
it
really
the
like I
it's Zach and Jambo's run, right? I believe.
yeah, and the 2P
Yeah.
run. It's just fun, like meeting new people. I always love meeting new like creators, especially like people that I already know about, and then getting to meet them in person and hang out is always very cool. Like Spiff was one. I love Spiff's videos, and then I met him, and I actually found out that he watched me because while I was practicing, he was like watching me, and he looked nervous to talk to me, which was funny because I was nervous to talk to him. Like there's always stuff like that where and you meet, and it's just very cool. So I always love them just for the hanging out. Like I was asked, um, it's not happening anymore, but it was going to be this Zelda event, and I was like, I don't even play Zelda. They were like, that's fine. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll go hang out.
That's cool.
But I would have had nothing to contribute. But I'm like, I just like hanging out with people and flying out to random places.
Yeah, speedrun events are the best. I went to the Paces in 20 both in 2023 and 2024, and like performing my first time performing in front of a crowd was like all coin stacks at like 2 in the morning. So I had maybe one person in the audience. So I was like that was fine I guess. But then the next summer I was in a four-way darker race, and like
Okay,
so like 40 people in the Odyssey community went to that pace. So there was a
races are
huge
really cool.
crowd. It was like 9 in the night. It was perfect, and it was just
Yeah,
one of the best experiences of my life. That was so fun.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's very very cool.
yeah. And then I did Kaizo, I think last fall, Kaizo any percent. So I
Oh
guess
really?
similar to how you did Superstar any percent. So it was that was cool.
Hmm.
Um, shout out to the one kid and his dad in the audience that were like super nice to me afterwards. It was like, yo, how'd you do that? That was just sick.
Also,
But yeah, speedrunning events are just a blast.
mm.
They're great. I feel like all of these speed talk episodes, I end up having like a 20-minute discussion about speedrunning events because people will either have gone to Pace or a different speedrunning event, and it's really is like a huge point of speedrunning, I think. Um, but when it comes with speedrunning, I did see you recently PB'd in any percent. Obviously, you don't take
Hmm.
any percent like super seriously, but
Yeah.
with the like 10-second PB with the Switch 2, which
Yeah.
I also just got like a week ago a 10-second PB with the
Oh
Switch 2, and I still haven't beaten it. Um,
yeah.
I'm just trying to get 58. It's so hard
Yeah.
for no
Fair enough.
reason. But but yeah, do you plan on improving that more in the future, or is that just a one day type of thing?
I I think so, and I was having fun with it. But I don't know. There's just something. Me and speedrunning don't mix as much anymore. I've really fallen out of like that grind, like
Yeah,
resetting and cap all day. It's just not as fun for me anymore. I really enjoy doing like challenge stuff, and I've definitely like leaned more into that, obviously. Um, but yeah, I usually I'll take a run like pretty seriously. Like recently, I did Celeste. I ran it for a week, a very heavy week. It was like 60 hours in a week, but um, I there's always that point in speedrunning where you stop PBing every run and you
yeah,
start resetting a lot. And that's always where I'm just like, ugh. And I just get bored and move on. I did it with Hollow Knight, Celeste,
yeah.
Mario 64, uh, Kaizo any percent. Like everything where it gets to that really hard part, I just don't, I don't know. There's something about spending an entire day doing runs and not getting a PB. I've just stopped enjoying as much.
I'm on the same boat. I do not enjoy it. It's weird because a lot of my closest friends are like top runners of the game, like Buster, VGR, like a lot of
Oh,
my
yeah.
friends like are fully like in that practicing mindset, and they like completely are able to handle the grind. And I'm just kind of like, it's weird because I'm not really like a high level content creator because I just hate editing and stuff. But
Mm.
at the same time, I like also hate speedrunning, so I don't really know what I'm doing here. Um, but like when I'll start running, and I've also had that like issue where I'll just like switch between categories once I like stop PBing because
Yeah.
it's so the game is so terrible sometimes with like some of
Yeah.
the resets I'll have.
Yeah.
Uh,
That is super fair.
yeah,
It was fun on the Switch too. I was surprised I got a PB because when I got mine, it was like so beyond my abilities. Like my PB was only like 40 seconds worse than my sum of best. Which at 101 level is ridiculous. That's like Tyrone's sum of best is like 40 seconds better than his PB.
yeah,
Uh, but I also haven't really done ILs ever, so that's partially why. Like, but yeah, doing it on Switch 2 was fun because like day one, I almost got a PB, and I was like, damn, I never thought I'd beat this, but
yeah.
I'm close. So knowing it was within reach was really exciting, and I think what really pushed me. And also there was like um I never submitted my actual PB, my 101.51 on speedrunner.com. I've always had a 102.08, and so it pissed me off because everyone thinks I have
Yeah.
a 102.08. It's not much of a difference, but I'm like, it's a minute barrier and no one knows. So I really wanted to like just get a PB so that I could have a new PB and submit it. Because for whatever reason, I never submitted, and then the video was gone, obviously, because it's Twitch. So, um, yeah, it was nice to just get one. And now that I've done that, I definitely the motivation's lower, even though I know it can be better. I lost 20 seconds at Cloud Kingdom. Like I know I can get a better PB, but yeah, the motivation's not as there as it was at first.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's cool that you got something though. Like that's
Yeah, definitely.
now people won't think you have a 102 anymore. So that's good.
Exactly. If I submit, I
Um.
still haven't. I thought I would get a
Oh,
better
okay.
one.
Oh, once you submit it.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like they. I don't know how quickly they're even verifying these things. I don't think they've even started verifying like CE
Yeah.
uh PBs or
Yeah, I'm sure they're
anything.
coming in like crazy.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I do think it's cool how like even though you're one of like the bigger creators in the Odyssey scene nowadays, you're still like
Mm.
in touch with the community, I feel like. Like Obviously,
Mhm.
you did the Kaizo any percent, which most people weren't trying to speed run that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool because that is a hard speed run, especially ruined
Yeah.
in the Bowser fight. I don't know how I did that shit for like 6 months. Um,
Yeah, seriously.
uh, and then like I think you've hosted a couple BTT premieres in the past, I think, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just curious, kind of where you are at now, like subscriber wise. How actively are you able to like see like the inner community, I guess? Like, do you like
Mm,
how closely, I guess, do you like follow developments with like any percent or BTT or modding or other stuff?
it's mostly just like I watch Tyrone.
Okay, that does like
Everyone is
most of
always
it. Yeah.
asking. Yeah, everyone is always asking like if I saw that he got a 55. I was there start to finish when he got the 55. I was
Wow.
watching. I saw him retime it, like everything. Um, I like literally I opened his stream as he was in Cap Kingdom, and it just happened to be the run, and which is crazy. But yeah, like I'll watch, and I've been. It's kind of in a weird spot right now, but I've been for a while. I wanted to make a video about how we got from 59 to here because it's crazy. Like it's a big
Yeah.
difference, and people don't realize. Like a lot of people, because sub hour is such a big thing, are very very shocked when they find out that it got to 57 or 56 or 55. Um, and so for a while, I was like, once Tyrone hits 55, I want to make a video, just like analyzing it and comparing it to Tyrone or Nigro's 59. Um, because Smallant a while ago made a video about how it got to sub hour. So I thought it would be cool to do kind of like a continuation. And then he got the 55. I was like, cool, I'll do it. But I was caught up doing other stuff. And then now the Switch 2's out, and I'm like, well, I might as well fucking wait until 54.
Yeah, I was about to
And
say
it's like
like
Zach and Jambo got a 54, but I
yeah,
don't think I'd want to do that because that's 2 player and that's too different. Um, and so now, yeah, I'm like, do I sit here and wait? In theory, I could write it and everything's gonna be the same, like all the
that's
tricks and
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um, or I could just do how they got to 55 and then at the end do a sort of and now it could be 54 because it switched to or
Yeah.
whatever. But it would feel weird to like upload how we got to 55 and then maybe a week later potentially it's 54.
Yeah, that's
Even
true.
with how unlikely it is. But anyways, so there's like I do enjoy like checking in on the speedrun community, but it's not too much. I still like, a video like that about speedrunning or like I did like the Min Mario video a while ago, but I actually really like that video. Like videos about certain categories or about certain whatever I do enjoy, but I'm definitely less in the speedrunning community now. There was a while where, yeah, I mean, I was pretty involved. I mean, especially in the min caps community, I forget how involved I was sometimes. Um, like sometimes I forget that I own that CRC server that has like 4,000 members for
Oh
some
wow.
reason. There's like 8 people have uploaded 3 caps runs, so I don't know why there's so many fucking members, but
That's crazy. Yeah.
um,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, um, yeah, there was it. I've definitely fallen out of it since I've stopped running as much, but yeah, I do like to stay involved at least a little bit, or at least keep up with it. But there are definitely times I'll like watch Tyrone, and I'm like, what the fuck is all this? Like, I can't believe people do maze clip. I didn't realize that people were actually doing maze clip. I thought it was still
Yeah.
a BTT only thing. It's crazy.
It's Maze Clip is stupid. For some reason, I had my friend Autumn, who is now like top five or something crazy, which is kind of crazy.
Really,
Yeah, because like most people probably don't even know who he is, but
I definitely recognize the
it's
name,
crazy. Yeah.
like Autumn SR.
Um, yeah, Autumn SR, and he like told me like one time like he told me to start going for Maze Clip, and for some reason I listened to him. So there was like a stretch of time where I was going for Maze Clip and just failing it 9 times out of 10. It's
Yeah,
it was such a waste of 3 seconds time loss like every single run.
seriously.
So eventually I
Yeah, Wooded
stopped
Kingdom is
listening to him.
absolutely insane now.
Yeah, it is.
Maze
It's
clip and flooded
ridiculous.
pipes clip and everything in that kingdom is just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, but when it comes to Switch 2, because obviously that just came out,
Mm.
I haven't. I don't know if you've done like a lot of Mario Kart World content, but are you planning on like, is there games that are coming out that you like want to do content for with like Mario Kart or
Uh,
Donkey Kong next month, I think?
Definitely just Donkey Kong. Really,
Yeah.
when it comes to like what videos I want to or what games I want to make videos on, it's just whatever I like. I've gotten past the point like we were actually just talking about this earlier with like Morph and Philly about what everyone's going to do on day one for Donkey Kong because obviously if you're like an Odyssey creator, it's everyone's just calling it Odyssey 2, so in theory it's kind
Yeah.
of a big deal. And the smart play would be to ruin my first playthrough and do some sort of challenge run or whatever, like content it
Yeah.
up. But I've always just prioritized, I don't know. Maybe it's not smart. It's why maybe I'm not as big as I could be, but I've always just prioritized like my enjoyment, I guess.
I mean, that's good.
Especially as like I mentioned earlier, like personality focused. I think that the more I enjoy something, the more entertaining I'm going to be. Um, and so yeah, like when Donkey Kong comes out, I'm just going to play it casually, and I'll make videos on it quickly. But that's up to my editor. You know, they're going to be the one grinding. I'm just going to be streaming.
Yeah.
And like I want to speedrun it. I'm very excited to speedrun it, but I never want to speedrun a game before I get a full like experience with it. So I'm probably gonna like 100% the game before I touch speedrunning it or touch a challenge, which might not be a good idea because you know like Fir probably day one will have some insane video and Morph is gonna I know do some I won't say what obviously but do a challenge with it. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of play it casually, like I did with Mario Wonder. I uploaded a video day one of me playing casually, and then I uploaded 3 videos of me playing it casually, and then I did a challenge. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this because I'm very very excited for it. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
So
I definitely want to play it casually too at the start because with Wonder I tried speedrunning it like the night I got the game and I did not
oh
finish the
wow,
speedrun and I did not enjoy the game that much after that.
yeah
So I don't
yeah
want to do that
that's
with Donkey Kong. I want to like enjoy myself, I feel like, because it looks like a good
yeah
game.
it's I've
Uh,
always been worried about like an Odyssey 2 coming out. I'm not anymore because I know it won't. But I
Probably
there was a
not.
while where I was like, if an Odyssey 2 comes out, the hell am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to like grind it and like not have fun with it? Which sucked because I obviously love Odyssey. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. So like as a casual, I want to just experience that. And it's the same thing like Donkey Kong. Like I do
Yeah.
want to just experience it. Um, but I will. Like I think I am gonna just take it easy. And I think that even uploading a casual playthrough, I think we'll do okay. Um, and that's the worst part. Sometimes you grind super hard and ruin your casual playthrough and it doesn't even do that well. And you're like, well, what the
Yeah.
fuck was the point?
Yeah.
It's hard when there's so many people are going to be uploading the same game on the same day. It's hard to like do well, especially if you're not bigger. But as like, you know, when you look at Odyssey content creators, there's obviously a select group of people you think of, and I'm obviously in the group. So I do think that like if a new 3D Mario or whatever comes out, um, it is nice to know that like I do think people will come to me to like find that, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And that I don't have to try super hard to stick out because I think just being the Odyssey guy playing the new, what is essentially Odyssey, I think is enough for some people.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And I
Anyway.
actually haven't made any Mario Kart World content because I haven't been enjoying it as much.
Oh,
It's
really?
just so like I've been in a few things and I was planning on making a video like on my second channel of them, but every time it's like races of 24 people and it's just not very fun. I don't think 24-person races are fun really at all. I think Mario Kart World's great for like time trials. It looks awesome and the knockout mode's awesome, but every experience I've had with the game so far, I'm just like it's too many players.
That's fair.
It's
It is
pure
very
chaos.
chaotic. It is. I haven't actually been in a 24-person lobby with like all real people. So
Hmm.
I've enjoyed it so far when it's just like me and
Yeah.
like a handful of friends, but like a full 24-person lobby sounds like it would, especially if you're all in BC, like that sounds like it'd be too
Yeah.
chaotic for me.
No, but
Like
like just having like you'll be in first for the whole race, and then lap 3 you get hit once. I've had it happen multiple
it's
times. Like I got
over,
hit
yeah.
once, and I went from first to 19th, because everyone is good in the lobby. Everyone's a real person, so everyone's
Yeah,
just bunched up in the middle. And then even you're in like 20th and you get like a golden mushroom, you start spamming it, you think you're gonna pass, but everyone's got a shell behind their back or whatever, and you just run into someone, or it's just this giant crowd that you have to push through, and you probably will just get hit and get
that's
even
true.
further
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it's a little rough around the edges in those ways, but it sucks because mechanically it's like the smoothest Mario Kart ever. Like all the different mechanics are so cool. It just sucks that you have to push through 24 people to experience them
Yeah.
or do time trials, which people have really been like really attaching to more than I've seen in any other Mario Kart except like Wii.
Yeah, it's weird with the Odyssey community in particular. Spezzy had the who's an Odyssey runner. Spezzy had the
Mm.
Great
The
Question
question
Block
block ruins.
Ruins world
Yeah,
record,
I saw
and then
that.
every Odyssey runner started like grinding that track, and now like the
Yeah,
whole like apparently like 9 out of the top 20 or something are Odyssey runners,
really.
which is funny. I
That's
know
funny.
Buster started doing it. I tried doing it, but I was like, you know what, I don't like this track, so I kind of
Fair enough.
broke the trend
That's
and
the
I
one with like
started doing Bowser's Castle instead. But
the big jump on like the giant ring and stuff,
yeah, it's
right?
like I think
They
so.
jump
Yeah,
off the ring, then off the wall, and then
yeah. It's
yeah, that
cool,
jump's
but
crazy.
it's like
Yeah, it is.
it's the beginning. There's a beginning shortcut that's like the off-road shortcut that made me like really hate the track because that shit's
Oh,
just
really? Okay.
it feels so hard to do that for some reason. But I don't know. A lot of people have been enjoying it. It's cool to see time trials like really active
Yeah, I've
in the
watched a
game.
few
But
people do it, and I always forget like they'll like finish the lap, and I'm like, nice, they did so good. And then I remember they have to do that 2 more times. I'm
yeah,
like, oh
that's
wow, like you have to perfectly do this like short speed run 3 times in a row without failing. People just grind for hours without getting a single
yeah,
time completed.
that's the hard part of time trials. Because I was trying Bowser's Castle earlier, which has like some really hard shortcuts,
Mhm.
just for fun. I'm not like a big time trialer, but I tried it for fun, and I was like, finally, you got out of the first lap, and I was like, shit, I gotta do that 2 more times. Like, this is not gonna go well. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's 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 hard. I don't know how people do it. Like, as like
Yeah,
their
and you're
main
like
thing.
improving by like a tenth of a second on a good PB.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Like I can't imagine like Cooper freerunning being like, okay, you have to do this 3 times in a row now
Yeah,
perfectly. Like
that's
that would
true.
like that'd be horrible. Like I don't get it. Anyway, we're coming close to the end here. I have a bit of a speed
Okay.
round here with 8 questions on it.
Okay.
Um, which you don't have to answer super quickly, but they just didn't. I guess just
No, I'm gonna be fast.
threw a bunch of questions in at the end. So first question, what's your favorite speed run?
That I've ever done.
Yeah.
Normally my answer off the top of my head is Superstar any percent. I think that for Odyssey, I think that run is awesome. Min caps is obviously very like sentimental. Uh, and then I think like min caps darker side as well. I think it's a really cool run, even if
All
I
right.
hate it sometimes.
Cool. We talked a lot about speedrunning events. If you had to pick
Mm.
one, what's your favorite of all the speedrunning events you've been to?
Um, I uh first one that comes to mind is the New York speedrun sessions. It was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with cool people, and I got a PB. Um, but Fast 50 is a super memorable one for me as well, and I met some people I'm like pretty good friends with now. And I don't know if Kaizo Coliseum would count. I don't think that really counts, but it's like a similar kind of event, and that
Yeah,
one was a lot of fun. But that one's like 5 days long as well, so it's kind of
cool.
different.
Of your YouTube videos, which one is is your favorite, I guess, but like doesn't have to be like some huge decision or anything.
It's probably the Mincavs Max Moods video.
Makes sense,
Like
yeah.
I look at that video very fondly. It made my channel blow up. I'm very proud of it because I streamed it, wrote it, uh, edited it, everything. Like I did everything on that video. Um, but I also really like my Hollow Knight True Ending video where I go through like the Hollow Knight True Ending run. that one was a lot of work. Like I didn't edit it, but I was very, very hands-on with the editing process. It was like a month-long process of like my editor would edit a small section and send it, and then I'd give notes like over and over. And we were both just really proud of how that one turned out.
Nice. What is one video that you want to make but haven't been able to yet? Or are
I guess
planning
the
to?
54 video. Come on, Tyrone. You got this.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
I wonder when he will get that, because he's like he has a 55 1x right now, which is crazy, but he's
That
like
is insane.
it's still like
I
10
felt bad. It,
seconds that he's
like
gonna have to seriously save, which is hard. But
he's like shackled to the grind. When they announced, or when it was found out how much time 1.4 saved, my first thought was just poor Tyrone. Like he
yeah.
just got the final minute barrier. You're never gonna beat this, and then all of a sudden it's like, actually, here's another one.
Actually, now you have
Get
to save
fucked.
10 seconds off that on
Yeah,
the Switch too. So have fun. Have fun with slope vaults.
seriously.
But I have a recommendation for a video.
Okay.
One of my favorite videos is I'm really into the tasks. I really like tasks in Odyssey, so I really liked
Mhm.
your reacting to the tasks like a couple years ago. And I think since
Okay.
then there have been a lot of really crazy tasks, especially like
Really?
the last month. There's been some absolutely insane ones.
Okay.
So I think a part two to that video would be really cool someday.
You send me them. I'll probably react to them,
Yeah, I'll
man.
send you a playlist
If
if
you
you
send me
want.
the right ones to look at.
Yeah, I could do that. All right. What is one underrated streamer or content creator that you enjoy watching?
Oh, geez. What is one? Let me look at my sub box. Well, let me look at my following thing first. I don't watch too many streamers. I kind of just watch my friends, and then I watch like Spiff, who's definitely not underrated, I'd say. He has 1 million subscribers. uh, where's subscriptions? There it is. God damn, I'm subscribed to a lot of fucking people. Well, I have a YouTuber.
Okay.
It is not gaming related at all, but
All
this
right.
will just be my answer. His name's Alex, but it's AH space LECKS. It's like Alex. He makes videos about manga, and I think he is the best YouTuber I've ever seen. His videos are just absolutely mind-blowingly good, and he gets like decent views, but there are some of his videos I'm like, damn, this should have done better. It's kind of like sometimes I see a creator and I'm like, I can't believe I have as many subs as I do and they don't.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
like, I don't work nearly as hard as this guy.
it's crazy when I
But
see creators like that. Yeah.
yeah, so he's one, not gaming or Mario related at all, but that is the first one that really comes to mind. Is he is probably my favorite creator.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I would have said Anto and Zach in the Box, but now recently I feel like
Mm.
both of them have blown up a bit. Especially Zach in the Box just had his like I think his subathon just ended or something.
Yeah,
So
like
he's like
yesterday.
yeah, like both of them have like
Yeah,
kind
Anto's
of
YouTube's been
popped
doing pretty
off
well too.
the last couple of years. Yeah. But I remember back then I would have like more subscribers than both of them and be getting like more views than both of them, and their videos are like edited and mine are just like not real
Right.
videos. Like I spent like 2 hours on them. I'm like, why are these people not getting more views? Um, but I'm happy now they're finally like starting to, which is
Hmm.
cool. Anyway, since you are as we determined by the titles and thumbnails stream that you did, since you're the expert of titles and thumbnails, I thought it'd be fitting to ask you what I should title this video um
Hmm.
for the hook to get.
CGS said what? And then it's me with a big censor. It says I hate and then the censor
And
or like a
I hate
blurred
like
word
Smallant and it's like blurred
and it's
out or
small ant.
something.
Yeah,
Start like
exactly.
imaginary beef. Okay,
Hmm.
I'll
No,
consider that.
I don't know. I've never made a podcast video, so it's definitely here. I'll give you this for the intro of the video. And I said, "Fuck you, small ant. I don't even want to do that. And also, you smell bad." There you go.
Okay, I might actually put that at the beginning. That'd be funny. Um. Anyway, I guess what's one piece of advice that you give to people who want to start their own Nintendo or Mario YouTube channels?
Well, the piece of advice I give everyone who asks about streaming or whatever, is if your goal is to make it a job, it's not going well. Like, it's not going to work. Because like I mentioned earlier, I streamed for 6 months before I got any viewers, and I didn't like after those 6 months, like I'd say it was about 9 months of basically no viewers, and then it picked up very fast. But for a lot of people, they'll go years before they even hit like 10 average viewers. And if you're only doing it because you want to be like a famous content creator or whatever, that is going to be a very hard gap to get through. Because if you're like, if you have 0 viewers, streaming's not that fun. Like, there's no one to talk to, and it's going to be boring. But if you're just doing it because you love it, you'll be able to get through that. Like, I just really enjoyed streaming, and I remember parts where like I got my first raid with 7 people, and I remember how crazy it was. I was like, 2 people stayed. I had 2 people talking in my chat. Like, that was so hype. But if your goal, like my goal was to have fun. I remember my goal was to have 10 average viewers. Like, that was like, if I can get to 10 average viewers, I'll be happy because I'll have people to talk to. But if your goal is like 1,000 viewers and you get that 7 viewer raid, you're just going to be like, whatever, man. And then you're probably going to quit. I've known a lot of people who start streaming because they watch me, like friends, who start streaming because they watch me or they watch, their friends who are creators, and they're like, oh man, that seems fun. And then they stream and they realize they don't have as many viewers and it's not as fun, and they quit within like a month or 2. And that's fine. I'm not like dogging on them, but yeah, it's all just about like expectations. If your expectations are too high going into it, or like not rooted in just like enjoying it, it's not going to go well. Like, there's a reason that the most beloved YouTubers out there are also like the ones that have been around the longest. Because when like, I don't know, Smosh started or when Markiplier started, you couldn't really make money on YouTube.
Yeah.
They were just making videos because they loved making videos, and then eventually they became millionaires as a result.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people out there now, and you can kind of tell who's who, that are streaming or making videos because they want to become millionaires, and there's no passion in it, and it usually doesn't go well. There's obviously rare cases. I mean, you look at someone like, I don't think fucking Aiden Ross started streaming because he just really liked it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, but yeah, for the most part, TLDR. If you love it, that's enough. Just do what you like doing. People will flock to that. And if you don't like it and you're just doing it for money, it probably won't work out.
Good advice. Good advice. Final question. What's
Okay.
next for Cjya, and where can viewers find you, even though they probably already know where to find you?
You can find me at Cjya or Cjya, my second channel, which is mostly just what's next. Is trying to find a way to balance both. Because I started my second channel, and then I kind of forgot to upload on my main channel for a while. So now we're in the new era of just trying to keep up and keep both audiences satiated, I guess. And that's about it. I mean, I don't plan that much ahead. I'm usually very like thinking on my toes kind of deal.
Yeah.
Come up with an idea and have the video out like a week later. But yeah, so what's next is just more, hopefully. A lot more videos.
All right, cool.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. This was a fun episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're definitely the biggest person I've had on so far. Next episode,
Okay.
I'll have another big person, so hopefully this starts a streak of my journey to fame. and glory, because
Who's
that's all I
next?
actually care about. Next, I will announce it. It is it's Summoning Salt. That should be a
Oh shit!
pretty cool one. I'm actually pretty excited
He's
for
way
that.
bigger than me.
Yeah, I can't wait to show Zach in the box, because one time I said I was going to try to get Summoning Salt on a video and on Zach's stream, and he laughed at me. So so I can't
I
wait
might have
to
laughed too, honestly.
can't wait to show that to him. But yeah, that's gonna be a good
Hell yeah,
episode.
dude. That's very exciting.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you for watching, and make sure if you enjoyed this video to subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode.
And smash
of
that
the
like button.
podcast. Yeah, smash the like button. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. See you in the next one.